So today, with me, it's Matej. So me and Matej know each other for some time now, and really excited because we're going to start a new series, bringing coaching or the real world coaching, with lessons, insights, our stories, our client stories as well, to share with you how you can elevate your coaching practice.
Nice. Yes, it would definitely be a waste of our experience and also fails. Sometimes I say, yeah, we failed and then we learn. So it's cool that coaches would hear, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess this is where, we kind of bring the real essence of what coaching is, from the classroom into the real world and into the global market, into what the market demands, and then what our own experiences are, and then some of the failures, some of the good things. And by no means, we've arrived at the final destination. We're still on our journey, and it's really fun because we just keep on trying.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep on trying. Very often it happened to me personally that I was like, I felt like I'm on the peak. I was like, wow, I know everything. I'm like, everything is clear and just everything is so smooth and nice. And then
Bang.
again and again,
Yeah.
I felt like, wow, is it like, am I doing step backs? Very interesting.
Mhm. And it's kind of interesting because I think that brings us back to when we kind of first begin. And I think many coaches who are beginning their journey, whether it's a professional coach, internal coach, external coach, team coach, leadership coach, life coach, they all have kind of like, how do I begin? How do I start? What are the potential pitfalls? What are potential challenges? So I think today's episode is really focusing on your first.
Hmm.
What's your first, right? What are some of the first that we kind of faced and encountered? So maybe we'll start with listening to Mateus, some of his first experiences. Like what are some things that going through that you felt emotionally, and also some things that went through your mind, and then how you kind of worked through those challenges.
Nice one. When I'm looking back at the start of my, I would say, coaching career, was when I was still a fitness trainer, right? And for me, coaching was more like stepping out of fitness. Was like sometimes I was looking at my fitness clients when they came out of their dressing rooms, changing rooms, looking so sharp in their fancy clothes, and I was just in my t-shirt on the gym floor, and I was like, I want to find a way how to go to this corporate world, right? It's so funny because these same clients, they say, no, Matej, we want to have your job. Right? But honestly, also because of me being a fitness trainer, I always had these deep conversations already. So I did coaching. I didn't know that it's coaching, but then it was so amazing when actually I've been coached, and then I saw, wow, this is something that I can use to help my clients to transform even on deeper levels, right? So, yeah, this is my reason why I started. But I need to say that beginning was far from easy, and one of the main reasons was because you cannot learn to be a good coach in 100 hours. Yes, you can get your ACC certificate, 100 hours, all right, 60 hours of training, but are you a good coach? I don't think so.
Yeah, totally agree that how sometimes I think we have been brought through the education system where you get a degree, you get masters, you think you know, right? Theoretically you think you know, but when you're actually doing it, facing all the challenges, you really need experience, and you need a variety of experiences, not just like, oh, okay, I've done it. So I've seen coaches who like said to me, oh, Jedi, I've done coaching over the last 20, 30 years, but when they start really learning coaching competencies, like really learning it, it's a whole nother different thing. I think similar to also how people experience like fitness training as well, before getting a coach and after getting a coach. So they may go to the gym, use the equipment and think that they know by watching YouTube videos and stuff. But when they really get like a fitness trainer or fitness coach or health coach alongside of them, things change. They begin to learn the nuances, the intricacies, the customization, personalization, understanding who you are. And I think that's the beauty of really coaching. It's that there's so many different people with so many different learning styles, learning needs, outcomes. And we as a coach, we have to be very, very agile to adapt, modify, and adjust ourselves to all our clients. And that's the beauty of coaching, I think. That's also the difficulty. You can learn the
Mm-hmm.
competencies, which is really, really fundamental, but also learning how to adjust, tailor your style, tailor your approach, being open,
Mm-hmm.
being humble, not having that fixed mindset of these are my clients, right? But really keeping yourself open to the possibilities that's out there.
Yes. What would you say that, I mean, like when you are talking to fresh coaches or any other coaches that would share their like beginnings, what do you think that are like few similarities that people would share when it comes to beginning of coaching? What are these like challenges of a beginner coach that they face? What did you like pick from sharings?
I think that's a really powerful question. I think there are three key things for beginning coaches that's common or common patterns among all of them. So these three things, I think it's not just found in beginning coaches, but sometimes coaches who have been in the journey for some time, right? And these three things appear again, again, and again. So the number one thing is the sense of confidence. So when they go in for when they go in for their first coaching sessions, they often have this little self-doubt. Can I do it? I'm just a beginning coach. I'm not sure whether can I deliver the value. I'm doubting myself. So they are under confidence, right? They're having a lack of confidence. On the other hand, you have people coaches who are super confident, like they think that I can do it. I can get that transformation done. So they're really, really happy. They learn a method, they learn a model, they learn a framework, they learn a tool, they learn a technique, they want to be able to use that, and they believe it's the best, right? So then they become overconfident at a tool, only to realize that they fall flat, right? Lack of confidence, not good. Overconfidence, not good. So this is the first challenge for many beginning coaches or even more experienced coaches as well, right? Why it didn't work, why it didn't work. So that's the first
Mhm.
challenge. Then I guess the second challenge comes with on the hindsight of confidence is a sense of fear that follows on, right? So when confidence kicks in, fear also comes together, and sometimes I find it's on the on the opposite ends as well, where a lack of confidence also brings about fear. The sense of fear also brings about overconfidence, where the coaches self doubt themselves and say, "Hey, I'm the client's going nowhere." So they're worried, like for example, oh, I'm a PCC coach, why am I going nowhere? So they have this fear, right? Like, I'm not sure whether am I doing the right thing or not. Or if I'm an ACC coach, I feel I cannot get the client the result that they want. So there's so much fear, right? And also fear that I may miss something out, or fear that I've done something wrong, or fear that I'm not able to answer the right question. So all these fears are start accumulating within themselves. So first issue is a sense of confidence, second issue is a sense of fear, and the third issue, right, is the sense of not being present in that moment, where
Mhm.
they exchange presence much of the time for trying to do the right steps or trying to do the right framework or trying to follow through a particular process or a particular thought or a particular, so they fix their mind. This is the question I want to ask. And they forget everything else. They're not present. They're not no longer listening. They're listening more to themselves and not the client. So these three things, confidence, fear, and presence, I think they are common patterns that I see emerging for beginning coaches or even more senior coaches, where it affects not just the client and coach relationship, but it also affects the overall outcome of the coaching conversation.
Nice. Yes. Amazing how you put this together. It's really like very detailed and I love it. And if I can just add from my experience, like what then I would do when I face lack of confidence or fear or lack of clarity, not being present, going into the autopilot mode. I often, especially when I facilitate a bit bigger group or when I'm nervous, because I am nervous, I would often or set an intention. I would sometimes ask myself, why am I even doing that? Right? Because I am a coach, and what is my role as a coach is to actually change people and to help people to change. And it's my duty. So I remember back then when I was running some workshops, and then it was still face-to-face before COVID, and there was like 30, 40 people, high educated, and then I was sometimes, I mean, it's not that I ask myself, who am I to teach them, but I did feel some anxiety or stress or fear or lack of confidence. But I think this setting of intention that I'm here to teach, to share my knowledge so they can learn and improve. So it's not about me anymore. It's not. So that's how that really helped me to put this Matej and his fear aside, right? And because it's like identity thing, right? Who am I? Why am I here? It's really these basic big picture questions that really helped me a lot. A part of practicing being present, how it feels now when I'm sitting on this chair. Oh, so nice tree out there, just bringing myself out of the autopilot. And before I forget the last thing, when you said, yes, in coaching is usually like that. And then it was on my mind, it's really not only in coaching. All these competencies like being present, deal with your fears. This is life in general. It's not coaching. It's business, it's relationships, it's fun, pleasure, anywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Like it's not just confined within the coaching domain, but also in every areas of our life. And I think this is where the beauty of coaching lies. It's helping us to go back to putting ourselves in the learner mode, like having that learning mindset to say, hey, you know what, let's learn and being curious to learn what's really showing up in that conversation. And I always tell people, I said, hey, you know, it's not about showing off your titles. And because I see a lot of coaches when they introduce themselves, oh, I have this master's, this doctor. And today I see a lot of coaches putting professor, doctor, so and so and so in front of the names. But I say it's not, you know, at the end of the day, if you're coaching from a place of position, it's really much like positional leadership. People are just entering the conversation because you have that title, right? But the beauty of coaching is that if I can remove myself and allow the client to just shine there and just holding that space for the client, you know, and one of the tests is that I don't even need to introduce myself, right? If I can let the client shine in that moment, let the client be at the center, and helping the client through that whole conversation to help the client see who they are on the inside. I think that's the beauty of coaching, where it's not about me, less on me, more about who the client is. I think that's something that if I were to share one practical tip for all the audience who's watching this, I think this is something for us to shift gears, right? From needing that positional affirmation to just letting it go. It doesn't matter if the client knows you by name, right? Sometimes some coaches get affected because the client forget that name. I say that's fine, right? I have many clients who kind of forgotten me by name, but I'm just very happy and grateful that they have had an impact through the conversation itself. And what about you, Matej? What is one thing that you could um, sh uh, give to the people who are watching this or listening to this as a practical thing for those beginning coaches or coaches who are just thinking, how do I take my first step to build my coaching practice?
I'm just going into this like literally from extremely practical side. Many coaches are so they fell in love in coaching so deep that they want to quit their job to go into coaching full time, and that's amazing. But very often I see the struggle after. Like they think about creating a beautiful website. They think about giving away some free programs, whatever. And then in the end, what happened often is they have need to sign in the client because they quit their job. So their income is gone actually, right? So I tell you something from my experience, if I need a client, wow, the client will feel, the potential client will definitely feel that I'm like a bit nervous or not confident. It doesn't help, right? So like just to add what you are saying, just be here for the client is actually essential thing. We are coaches for the clients, but then we also need to think about ourselves from this financial perspective. So I often say to these guys, don't quit your job yet. Build your practice first, to the point that your income from coaching itself is as big as your salary, at least, or at least enough for you to say no to the income from your salary and quit and be happy. Because it's, if you won't be happy doing coaching, you won't be good coach, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like the
Mhm.
practical thing to do is just to think about, hey, what is it that financially you can do
Mhm.
before embarking and just quitting everything. It's not just coaching, right? I've seen some people just saying, oh,
Mhm.
because they saw a lot of advertisements on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn today,
My
especially.
goodness.
Like, or they say, oh, attend this course, attend this speaking course, this
Six figures.
six figures course or this branding course, and then you're
Yes.
gonna get magic. So, no, it's they are marketing to you. You're just one of their clients. You got to think about practically from the standpoint of what really makes sense, right? And try it out first, right? Don't jump to the extreme and quit
Mhm.
everything and just go head on. You could do that, right? It doesn't mean that you lack of conviction. It's just practicality, right? So you got to think about what makes sense for you. Um, your practice and just take one step at a time. And I think this is
Nice.
a very, very powerful topic that we will continue in the next episode, where we'll talk about how do you take from here, right? Which is how do I decide how much time do I allocate for coaching if I'm a busy professional? How much time and where do I find my clients? How do I build all that? So if you're interested to find out more about those things, do stay tuned because subscribe to our channels, right? There's Matej's channel and my channel here. Subscribe to them. Follow us because we're going to share with you very, very practical, down to earth things that will work for you in your practice. And if you have questions and you say, hey, I'm not sure how to go about it, and we are really happy to kind of give it a shot at it, right? So if you like what you see here today, hit a thumbs up, share this with a friend, tag someone to this video, and we'll catch you in our next episode.